But are they intimacy? Or do they just create emotional intensity? What's happening? Welcome to We Might Be Trippin', and today we got another segment for y'all. These are like my TED Talks, and we gonna call it Deep Dives with Scuba. So, I was talking to one of my partners the other day, and we was like, let's start a little solo. We can do what I used to do on my Instagram and everything. You feel me? Like where I used to go talk to people, whoop, whoop, post a little TED Talk and everything. And then one of the topics came up. He was like, "Man, let's bring back, intimacy scam." And I'm like, "Intimacy scam." Now, before we really like break into that, before we really like just dive deep into that, like let's really just think about it. Let's think about it. The world, you feel me? Like at the end of the day, for real, everything is only as we perceive it. You feel me? Not just car, money, clothes, success, beauty, everything. Like the world we experience isn't necessarily the world that is. You know what I'm saying? In the world that we live in today, or any other day, it's like it's as we interpret it, bro. Like let's be real. Like the two people can live the exact same event and like bro, like walk away with completely different experiences, realities. You never know. Like what happens when we apply that idea to intimacy? I'm just saying what happened when we apply it to intimacy. Like because the more you think about it, well, the more I really think about it, the less sure that I am that we all mean the same thing when it comes to it. Like we use it confidently. Like we talk about it. We talk about wanting it, lacking it, losing it. But have we ever stopped and asked, like, what exactly is intimacy? And maybe, just maybe, even a better question for real, like, how do I know when I'm experiencing it? Like, let's go there with it. Like, let's go there with it. Now, I ain't gonna count. I ain't gonna count. Before we go any further with like, what is intimacy like? What is it? You feel me? What is it? What is it defined as? Most dictionaries, let's look it up. Most dictionaries say that intimacy is a close familiarity, deep connection, or a feeling closeness between people. Psychologists often describe it as deeply known while feeling emotionally safe enough to be yourself. Notice something? If you ain't noticed something, I'm gonna tell you what it is. Because neither definition mentions sex. Not once. That doesn't mean sex can't be intimate. It absolutely can, but intimacy itself isn't owned by sex. Why do we do that? I don't know. Why do we do that? Which means intimacy can exist between friends, family, parents, children, teammates, communities, romantic partners, spiritual relationships. All that, man. Like, and even the relationship you have with yourself. I feel like that could be intimate. You know what I'm saying? Uh, it's a parent knows something is wrong before you even speak. Is that intimate? Like a grandmother tells stories that make you feel understood across generations. Intimate? Or a teammate, trusts you when everyone else doubts you. Intimate? But I'm just. So before we even continue, let's remove intimacy from the box that we've placed it in. You know what I'm saying? Because if intimacy can exist in all these places, then maybe we're talking about something much bigger than romance. You know what I'm saying? Like it's much bigger than romance. Now, Now, I just want to get this right. Most people hear intimacy, right? And they think there's a shared understanding. But let's slow down, though. Like, let's really slow down. One person feels intimacy through sex. One person feels it through conversation. Another feels it through prayer. One feels it through physical touch. Another feels it through acts of service. One feels it through being listened to. Sitting through complete silence with someone they trust. All of those can be felt as a sign of intimacy. You know, so it's like, which one is right? Maybe none of them, or maybe all of them. Well, me personally, I think all of them. I think all of them are forms of intimacy. Let's be real. That's me. Like I feel like they all are forms of intimacy because if intimacy were how should I say if intimacy were objective, you know what I'm saying? Shouldn't we all arrive to it in the same way? You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I think. But what if intimacy isn't an action? What if intimacy is the meaning we assign to an action? I mean, really think about it. Really think about it. A hug isn't intimacy. A hug can feel intimate though. A conversation isn't intimacy, but a conversation can feel intimate. Sex isn't intimacy, but sex can feel intimate. Silence isn't intimacy, but it can feel intimate. You see where I'm going with it? You see where I'm going with this? Maybe intimacy isn't this thing happening. Like maybe intimacy is what happens inside of us while it's happening. Yeah, this is just me like really talking to myself because like this let's roll on. Let's roll on. So like, what if intimacy has never been about sex? What if intimacy has never been about sex? You know what I'm saying? Now let's challenge the biggest assumption. Sex can be intimate, absolutely. But why did it become the default definition if intimacy is only meant sex? Explain these moments right here. Explain these moments. Bro, the friend who sat with you during your darkest time, the grandmother who understood you without words, the parent who knew something was wrong before you even said anything. Like, come on, man. Like the stranger who listened when nobody else would. Or the person who stayed when leaving would have been easier. You know what I'm saying? Like, were these moments not intimate? I'm like, were these moments not intimate? Like, I think most people would say yes. I think most people would say yes. They were intimate, bro. Like, maybe intimacy is much bigger. Well, not no maybe. Take away the maybe. Take away the maybe. So intimacy must be bigger than sexuality. Much bigger. Much bigger because maybe intimacy is present whenever genuine connection is present. You know what I'm saying? Hey, y'all ain't ready for y'all. We gonna keep deep diving. Are y'all really ready for that, bro? I don't know if they ready for it, bro. So hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out. I might be tripping, but what if intimacy was everywhere? I might be tripping, but what if intimacy was everywhere now? This is where things started tripping for me. Maybe intimacy isn't rare. Maybe we've been overlooking it. A mother waking up at 3 a.m. to check on a child. Intimate? Question mark. Okay, a friend remembering something that you told them 3 years ago. Intimate. Question mark. I'm really trying to get y'all to think about it. I'm really trying to get y'all to think about it. Someone cooking your favorite meal because you just had like a rough day. Intimate. Question mark. You know what I'm saying, bro? I'm just saying a teacher believing in a student before they even believe in themselves. A teacher believing in a student before they believe in themselves. Someone remembering your coffee order, checking in, and you home safe. Noticing your mood change. Sitting in silence because words aren't helping. What if intimacy isn't one thing? And that's what I'm trying to get y'all to understand. What if intimacy is recognition, understanding, attention, presence, care, sacrifice? You know, all these different things. Trust, awareness. What if intimacy isn't a destination? Like what if it's hidden inside ordinary moments? You know, what if it's hidden in ordinary moments, inside ordinary moments? Maybe we've been inside. We've been searching for intimacy while constantly experiencing it. Now, me personally, I just think we've been confusing. Well, let me not say personally. I think, but like, let me ask y'all, like, have have we been confusing intimacy with other things? Not not everything that feels powerful is intimacy. Hold on, y'all ain't gonna like to hear it. Not everything that we feel powerful is intimacy. Now you might feel like, oh, he kind of negating some of the stuff he said here and everything. Like, no, no, I'm not. Just hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out. I might be tripping. Attraction feels powerful. Validation feels powerful. Lust feels powerful. Possession feels powerful. Dependency feels powerful. Obsession feels powerful. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But are they intimacy? Or do they just create emotional intensity? Y'all, chaos can feel deep. Toxicity, it can feel deep. Like drama, it can feel deep. But depth and intimacy aren't automatically the same thing, bro. Like sometimes what feels deepest, leaves us the emptiest, bro. Like I don't even want to go back on that. You feel me? Like it can leave us the emptiest, and like have I ever experienced intimacy, or have I experienced intensity and mistaken it for the intimacy? Like that's the real question here. But like that, I feel like that begs the question. Who, how were we taught intimacy? Who taught us intimacy? You know what I'm saying? And this question is dangerous because most people assume their beliefs belong to them. Y'all ain't gonna like me out of this, but where did your definition come from? Parents, movies, music, religion, social media, past relationships, heartbreak, trauma? How much of your understanding of intimacy was chosen? And how much was inherited? If you grew up around emotional distance, you may perceive distance as normal. If you grew up around chaos, guess what you think normal? Guess what you think is a passion? If you grew up around sacrifice, you may perceive sacrifice as love. How much of what I call intimacy is actually just familiarity? You know what I'm saying? Like, These kind of the questions we gotta kind of like start asking ourselves for real, man. Like, and now I feel like that begs the next part of the question: what if, what we really want is to be seen? I mean, this may be the this may be the hardest time episode, right? Because what do people actually mean when they say I want intimacy? Maybe what they're really saying is, I want somebody to see me. Not look at me, not admire me, not desire me, but see me. You know what I'm saying? Because being looked at is common, but being seen is rare. The internet is full of people being looked at. Millions of views, likes, followers, yet loneliness keeps growing. Maybe because attention isn't intimacy. Like, what's the difference between being noticed and being understood? Like, come on. Like, tell me, like, what's the difference? You feel me? You know, engage with me, y'all. Engage with me because I feel like I'm dropping a bunch of questions in this deep dive. I'm dropping a bunch of questions in this deep dive. You feel me? And just let me know. Hey, drop in the comments. Let's deep dive together. And you feel me? Like, let's deep dive together. We keep saying all that, but like, I think I got another question. What if intimacy is permission? Oh, what if it's permission, bro? Maybe intimacy isn't found, but maybe intimacy is allowed. You know what I'm talking about? How many people know facts about you? Your birthday, favorite color, your job, hobbies, all that, but do they know you? And if they don't, did they fail to know you? Or did you never reveal yourself? You know what I'm saying? Like maybe intimacy begins at the moment that we stop managing our image and start revealing our reality. You know what I'm saying? Like who would know me if I stopped performing? You know what I'm saying? Just think of it in that light. Or let me pose another question. What if we're really actually afraid of intimacy? Now, hold on, hold on. Think about it. Think about it. Everybody say they want intimacy. Everybody say they want intimacy. Everybody says they want intimacy, but intimacy requires something terrifying: exposure. Because once somebody truly sees you, like they gain the ability to reject the real you, not the mask, not the persona, you. Maybe that's why people hide. Like, are we afraid of loneliness? Like, are we afraid of being fully known? Like, those aren't the same fear. For real, for real. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that's it. Like, but what if intimacy is a perception of safety? Like, someone texts constantly. One person feels loved, or another feels controlled. Someone gives space. One person feels trusted, another feels, abandoned. Abandoned. Same action, different reality. Which means intimacy may not live inside behavior. It may live inside interpretation. It may, live inside interpretation. Is intimacy created by what people do, or by what, like, we believe their actions mean? Think about it. That really make me want to, like, dive a little deeper. So now we finna dive a little deeper with it. So, like, really, really just think about it. Like, every person you ever love, do you know them, or do you know your experience of them? Yeah. And not a trick question because nobody can enter another person's mind ever. Every relationship is built through stories, memories, conversations, observations, assumptions, interpretations. Do we fall in love with people or do we fall in love with our understanding of people? And now that begs the question like, is complete intimacy even like achievable? Like is complete intimacy even possible, bro? Like nobody fully knows you for real. Not because they don't care or some shit like that. It's because they can't. Because here's what's even crazier. Like here's what's even crazier. You don't fully know you. You surprised yourself before. You've changed your mind before. You discover new things about yourself. Like so, if you're still discovering who you are, like how can somebody else completely know you? Maybe intimacy was never about complete understanding at all. Like maybe intimacy was the willingness to just keep learning someone. You know, not certainty, but curiosity, and not arrival, but the pursuit. You know what I'm saying? Now you probably wondering why I call it the intimacy scam. Like the real intimacy scam. Like maybe the scam isn't sex. Maybe the scam isn't dating apps. Maybe the scam isn't movies. Maybe the scam is believing intimacy is a thing you achieve once. A kiss, a relationship, marriage, a title, a label. As if intimacy is a destination. What if intimacy is actually a practice? A constant process of understanding, being understood, revealing, learning, trusting, relearning over and over again. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe we've been chasing symbols of intimacy instead of intimacy itself. Now, just stay with me, right? If intimacy can exist in conversation, in silence, in sacrifice, in trust, in understand, you know what I'm saying, in service, in vulnerability, in grief, in laughter, in prayer, and in being present, then maybe intimacy isn't one thing at all. Maybe intimacy is the moment we genuinely connect with something beyond ourselves, a person, a purpose, a community, a belief. You know, like even ourselves, bro. And if everything is only as we perceive it, then maybe the question is, what is intimacy? Maybe the real question is, what have what have I been calling intimacy this whole time? And after all of this, maybe an even deeper question remains. If intimacy can exist between friends, family, strangers, communities, partners, or even within ourselves, like then was it ever about then was intimacy ever about a specific relationship? Or has it always been about our depth of perception? Or has it always been about our depth of connection we allow ourselves to experience? Take a moment today to notice an ordinary, intimate moment in your life. And then I just want you to reflect on what being seen really means for you. Truly, man. Thank y'all for going on this trip with me. If it hit you, share it, talk about it, sit with me. But until next time, stay curious, dive deep. Appreciate you. Make sure y'all go follow us on our Discord, man. Go join the community Discord. And there we got everything. Where we got our topics. We got everybody just in there chatting. Where we'll be coming up with new ideas for the show, et cetera, man. Come mess with us, man. Come ask us questions personally. Easiest way to contact us is through Discord as well.